Hello there, my fellow Ohioans, and this is our March 27, 2020 update of coronavirus in Ohio. So, as you can see, the first thing you're going to notice is the chart yet again that I will be showing first thing in every single video that I record regarding this, because the most important thing when it comes to this situation is the numbers. So today, in today's update at 2 o'clock, again, for anyone who's looking to track this down themselves, you can certainly track this down yourself. But I checked the Ohio website for the Ohio coronavirus website that I provided links to in prior videos, and will continue to do so in current videos and videos going forward related to this. The number of cases of infected have increased by 270 cases today. Now, again, part of the reason that we can tie this back to is because of the fact that more testing has become available and whatnot. So more people are able to get tested. So we're probably going to continue to see a spike in cases with that in mind. So obviously it's not where we want to be. That's almost double, not exactly double, but pretty close to double of what was reported yesterday. And so there's been this slow, gradual incline from the beginning, where more cases are reported every day. And this is the first time overall that we've had such a huge spike. So again, we'll wrap back around to this. So, but this is the first thing I wanted to show. So our daily increase was 270. Now, one of the things I do want to bring up that I've heard about like a couple of days ago, I believe it was, or maybe it was yesterday. The governor, Mike DeWine, had tweeted something about the number of cases daily potentially end up, before the peak happens, the number of cases daily being around like 5,000-6,000 per day. And again, this is mainly, I think, because of the fact that not everyone can get tested, or people couldn't get tested fast enough, and so on and so forth. I didn't want to share that information just yet. I mean, I'm certain you may have seen it yourself, but I didn't want to share that information just yet until I knew exactly what he was basing that on. Because the first thing that I saw when I saw that he tweeted that, a lot of people were like, "Okay, you're insane. You're Chicken Little, basically." Maybe it's a potential scare tactic to keep people in a good sense, a scare tactic to keep people staying inside and trying to reassure, basically enforce the stay at home order that he put into effect last week. So, or actually, earlier this week, I should say. It seems like it's been forever though since all that started. But nonetheless, I wanted to take a moment to show everyone this, because this is where he was getting that information from. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on this so everyone can see this clearly. So this article was from Cleveland.com. This was posted yesterday. They updated it today. And this is the modeling. And again, this you'll see this kind of matches what I was talking about in yesterday's video, actually. The modeling from an Ohio State University study, if you will, to demonstrate the need to reduce the spike in coronavirus cases. And again, we keep calling this coronavirus, guys, but we got to keep in mind coronavirus is a general term to describe viruses that can attack your respiratory system, and amongst other symptoms that follow from obtaining that type of virus. So this isn't just the first. This is not the first coronavirus. I do want to make that clear, because I think people don't fully understand that. So COVID-19 is the actual virus itself. Coronavirus is just a general name to describe the impact of the virus. And if you don't believe me, go ahead and Google coronavirus. Done. All right. So anyways, I mentioned the other day that the spike, if you look at this graph or this chart that came from Ohio State University, this shows originally where the spike would have come around April 1st. Now, it looks like they're projecting now that that's being pushed out due to the number of cases and the trend that we're currently seeing in the spike of cases being reported daily. So their model shows that, like, you see there this number says 5,000. So by the middle of April, they're saying that there's a possibility that we would have reached a point where this number, we're growing by thousands of cases reported per day of people that are infected with this virus, which is very unfortunate. The governor has personally said himself on Twitter as well that he believes us to be 2 weeks behind where New York is currently. So I don't know, again, if that's just because there was less of an importance on us because we don't have as many people that were being infected, or whatever the case may be, or maybe he wasn't being aggressive enough for tests. I don't know, but nonetheless, this kind of shows, I think, just in general where things could possibly spike, but then also, well, I mean, I guess that's it in general. I mean, the earliest could have been here by the first, where we could have reached that spike approximately, and then now it looks like they're projecting somewhere mid-April or possibly later, where we hit that, where we start to flatten that curve and start our downtrend. So, in theory, the downtrend would be done sometime mid-May, so it takes a full month for that to take place. Now, what does this mean? I don't know just yet. I mean, that possibly means that the stay-at-home orders are for, the many states that have stay-at-home orders is going to be extended and last longer. I know, including myself, I desperately was hoping that, by Easter, just for my own personal, my personal agenda, basically my personal life, like, I was hoping that by Easter this thing would be, like, out of the way. And I know that's what the president has reiterated multiple times, is that, he was focused on Easter and everyone being back in churches and, all that kind of stuff. I don't know that I don't know that that's actually gonna happen. I mean, again, this is a model based on where things stand right now. So if the numbers start to show something different, then of course the model will change. And, this spike that we see here, middle of April, could, again, end up back here around the beginning of April, which is essentially what I was explaining earlier based on the pattern that we saw with China. So as long as the numbers start to show that we're starting to flatten out sooner than later, then obviously the model changes along with that, right? So that's just the way stuff works. So, but I did want to point this out because this is actually where he and the doctor who is going on the news, Dr. Amy Acton, she's on the news every single day giving the update. I think at 2 o'clock is when they actually do the news broadcast with her on there, and she gives basically the update for the day for Ohio. So this is where they got that information from to suggest that we're possibly going to be at a point where we have thousands of cases per day being reported. So again, this is something to think about. I'm not saying, it could be bad. I mean, obviously it could be bad. Where we're at right now is already bad enough. Ohio, again, we officially went past 1,000 cases, and it's the worst day that we've had so far in terms of cases reported. But again, like, don't freak out. That is the one thing that you don't want to do. So everyone is important that everyone tries to remain as calm as you possibly can. You don't want to create distress amongst yourself nor your family members, because actually, again, if you're stressed, being stressed a lot causes or provides the opportunity for your body to be attacked. So if you happen to come in contact with someone who would have it, and maybe you don't have symptoms, by you being stressed, it possibly could cause the symptoms to happen, because then your immune system is lowered and stuff like that. So, and again, I'm not a doctor, so I can't describe exactly how it happens. I just know, generally speaking, if you're stressed out, you are more likely to become sick. So you gotta, you gotta do the best you can to just take this information and just understand that this just means that we're still on a incline in terms of the numbers of cases reported per day. Chances are this is definitely gonna last into April. Will it last through April? Possibly. But again, let's all try to have hope that the governor and everyone else involved is doing enough to make sure that we start the downhill trend sometime sooner than later. Does it look like that's going to happen? I don't know. I mean, it's very iffy. It's very dicey at this point to know when that downhill trend is going to happen. But the only thing that you can do, and I suggested this yesterday because I watched the CNN town hall, the global town hall thing they did the other day. If you didn't see it, I would consider checking it out. They had a video clip on YouTube that had Bill Gates featured on it, and Bill Gates was talking about the data and the trends and all that kind of stuff. And he had some pretty bold predictions to say about how long this would last. Primarily that he doesn't think it will be done in April. But that doesn't. But again, his comments were based on the fact that you don't know. All of that depends on when you start to flatten that curve. So when the curve starts to flatten, then you're at a point where, okay, things are starting to look better, blah blah blah. Then you can go from there. But at this point, we haven't hit that point yet for the United States. So, let alone Ohio, for that matter. But we haven't hit that point just yet. So, but again, you have to try to do your best to stay calm during these times. And again, keep and practice your social distancing. Again, it doesn't mean you can't go for walks and do things that can help yourself de-stress. But like I said yesterday, I would not be going myself to the park. I wouldn't be taking my kids to the park, allowing people to touch stuff that potentially can transmit the disease to you and your family. I would avoid as much as possible going out in the public, especially where it requires you to be around people or near people, even within that 6 feet, radius of someone. I would definitely recommend. Yesterday, I did bring up a point about making sure that if you get packages delivered, which most likely people are during this time because people don't want to go out, if you're getting food delivered to you and packages delivered to you, I would say, like, if you're getting bags and stuff like that for groceries, whether it's plastic or paper, or Amazon boxes or FedEx boxes, UPS boxes, whatever, DHL, whatever distribution method you're getting stuff delivered to you in, I would consider just as soon as you get it and you take all your food out of it or whatever's in it, throw the stuff away immediately. Throw the stuff away, dispose of it, recycle it, put it in a recycle bin, whatever, and wash your hands. That is very important because, again, like, just because these facilities are taking many precautions to try to prevent the illness from spreading, these facilities are still open and people are still subject to make careless mistakes. There's still been, again, like I mentioned yesterday, someone from Amazon in one of the Amazon warehouses was found to be tested positive for coronavirus. So who knows the packages that person touched. So again, to be absolutely as safe as possible, make sure that once you remove stuff from packages, you wash your hands and, again, do the best that you can to try to stay safe and prevent yourself from contracting the virus and possibly distributing it to others in your family. Tomorrow we'll talk, or maybe I'll do another video today. I'm not really sure. I will mention that if you haven't heard by now, the U.S. has already won, if you can even say it that way. The U.S. has already beat out every other nation in terms of the contraction of the coronavirus. So the U.S. has officially become the most impacted country. Here, let's go ahead and move this over here. I'm going to reload this to show you that I'm not just making this up. So the U.S. has the most cases now in the world of coronavirus. Now, I will show you that compared to China, again, China had 81,000 infected and 94,000 deaths. Or 94,000, sorry, 3,200 deaths, so almost 3,300 deaths. The U.S. has 94,000 infected, but half as many deaths. U.S. will definitely be hitting 100,000 total confirmed cases, and that probably will happen today. We'll probably know today that the U.S. has reached 100,000 confirmed cases. It is spreading quick in the U.S., and again, a lot of this has to do with testing now being more readily available and more people getting tested and that kind of stuff. So again, don't freak out about it, but just know that this thing exists, this thing is real, and everyone needs to do their part to try to make sure that they prevent the spread of this. Of course, the number of infected will continue to go. Like I said, it's going to be over 100,000 at least by the end of the day today. But we have to do the best we can, and I'm gonna talk a little bit more in another video about the incline here. They're 2 days behind currently, actually. And it looks like, generally speaking, if things hold true, uh, actually, I take that back. No, I was gonna say, generally speaking, if things hold true, if we hit 100,000 today, though, our incline is still going to be pretty steep once they catch up to the 27th. So I was hoping, it looked like there was a possibility that maybe this incline had slowed a little bit, that would be great news just in general across the U.S. if the incline slows down. But even just as a nation as a whole, the incline has not started to slow. So that's, again, that is the measure that we need to see as a nation to know that that curve is on the point where it may start to flatten, or when it can start to flatten. So again, just be sure to check back, guys. I'll keep releasing videos every day, trying to provide you updates based on the state of Ohio releasing updated information. I will also mention that the death toll in Ohio increased by 4 deaths, so it went from 15 yesterday to 19 today. So there were 4 more deaths in Ohio today than there were yesterday related to the virus. I mean, overall, it's not. I mean, again, death is death. It's never good to have death, but the fact that there's only 19, I think we can consider ourselves kind of lucky, considering there's 1,100 people infected. But again, we'll have to take it day by day. So I'm sorry if this isn't great news to anyone who's been looking for some hope. I'm trying to give you as much hope as I possibly can, because I am a very optimistic person, not pessimistic, optimistic person. I am very hopeful that we will hit our curve sooner than later. But again, the truth is in the numbers, and the numbers are telling a different story right now. So let's hope, again, that by everyone practicing, look, we've got 5 more days before we reach April 1st. So if everyone can continue to keep practicing social distancing, maybe by the 1st we'll start to see that curve flatten. I'm very hopeful of that, but there's no, I can't make any guarantees of that. So thanks again, everyone. Sorry the video was so long today, but I'm trying to just give you as much information as possible. And like I said, I'll keep releasing videos every day. As long as they do updates on the weekend, I'll do updates over the weekend. If they don't, then I won't, because there's not really much in terms of data to provide. But we'll see how that goes. So thanks again, everyone who watched the videos. I hope it's very informative. And until next time, bye-bye.